A little girl stood by a fresh grave, holding her mother's photograph. She was maybe 7 years old, wearing a black dress 2 sizes too big. The cemetery was empty, except for her and the Iron Brotherhood Motorcycle Club, rolling through for a funeral 3 rows over. She walked straight up to the biggest biker she could find and asked a question that made his blood run cold. What he saw in that photo would change both their lives forever. Ghost pulls his Harley into Riverside Cemetery on Tuesday afternoon. The Iron Brotherhood lost one of their own last week. Old-timer named Diesel, lung cancer, 63 years of living hard and riding harder. 32 bikers roll in formation behind Ghost, their president, black vests with patches earned through loyalty and blood. They park near the veterans section where Diesel's getting buried with full military honors. Ghost cuts his engine and climbs off his bike. 6'4", 250 pounds of muscle and scars. He's been president of the Iron Brotherhood for 12 years. Before that, he was a Marine. Before that, he was just Marcus Griffin, a kid from Detroit who thought bikes were freedom. The funeral director waves them toward Diesel's plot. The brothers gather, forming a line of leather and chrome. Ghost carries the folded flag. Diesel served 2 tours in Vietnam. He saved Ghost's life once during a bar fight in Tucson. Ghost owes him this respect. He owes him everything. That's when Ghost sees the little girl. She's standing maybe 50 feet away beside a grave so fresh the flowers haven't wilted yet. The headstone looks brand new. She's wearing a black dress that hangs off her small frame like a tent. Her hair is pulled back in a messy ponytail. She's clutching a photograph to her chest, staring at the bikers with wide, desperate eyes. Ghost's instincts kick in immediately. Something is wrong. A 7-year-old child shouldn't be alone in a cemetery. He looks around for parents, for family, for anyone. There's nobody. Just this little girl standing vigil over a grave. "Cruz," Ghost says quietly to his VP. "Handle Diesel's service. I'll be right back." Cruz nods without question. That's brotherhood. That's trust. Ghost walks toward the girl. His boots crunch on the gravel path. She watches him approach without fear. Most kids take one look at Ghost and hide behind their mothers. Not this one. This one stands her ground. "Hey there," Ghost says, stopping a respectful distance away. "You okay?" The girl doesn't answer right away. She looks down at the photograph in her hands. Then she looks back at Ghost. Her eyes are red from crying, but there's something else there too. Determination. Desperation. "Are you a good person?" the girl asks. Ghost blinks. It's not the question he expected. "I try to be. My teacher said bikers are dangerous. She said they hurt people." "Some do," Ghost admits, "but most of us just like to ride. And we protect people who need protecting." The girl considers this. She glances back at the grave behind her. The headstone reads, Jennifer Marie Walsh, beloved mother. The dates show she was only 32. "My mommy died," the girl says simply. "She had cancer. It hurt her really bad." Ghost's chest tightens. He's buried too many people. He knows that pain. "I'm sorry. My daddy left when I was a baby. Mommy said he wasn't ready to be a father. She said it was okay because we had each other." The girl's voice cracks. "But now she's gone and I don't have anybody." Ghost kneels down so he's eye level with the child. "Where are you staying?" "With Ms. Rodriguez from Social Services. She's nice, but she says she can't keep me. She says I have to go to a foster home on Friday." Tears start rolling down the girl's cheeks. "I don't want to go with strangers. I want my mommy." Ghost's heart breaks. He's seen too much in this world. Too much pain. Too many kids getting lost in systems that don't care. "What's your name?" "Emma. Emma Walsh." "Emma, where's Ms. Rodriguez right now?" "She had to go to another appointment. She said she'd pick me up in an hour. I wanted to say goodbye to Mommy, alone." Emma wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. "I brought Mommy's favorite picture, the one where she's happy." Emma holds out the photograph. It's a Polaroid, faded and worn at the edges. A woman with dark hair and bright smile stands in front of a Christmas tree. She's wearing a red sweater and holding a mug of hot chocolate. She looks young, carefree, happy. Ghost takes the photo carefully, and his entire world stops. He knows this woman. He knows that smile, that face, those eyes. His hands start shaking. His throat closes up. He can't breathe. "What's wrong?" Emma asks, her voice small and scared. Ghost stares at the photograph, at Jennifer Walsh, at Jenny. His Jenny from 12 years ago. The woman he met at a diner in Phoenix during a cross-country run. The woman he spent 3 perfect days with. The woman who disappeared before he could wake up on the 4th morning. The woman who left only a note saying she was sorry, but she couldn't live his life. He'd looked for her. For months he looked. But Jennifer Walsh is a common name, and she'd never told him where she was from. Eventually he gave up. He told himself it was just a weekend, told himself to move on, but he never forgot her face. "Mister?" Emma's voice pulls him back. "Do you know my mommy?" Ghost looks at Emma. Really looks at her. She has Jennifer's eyes, her nose, her smile when she's not crying, and she has Ghost's dark hair, his jawline, his height for a 7-year-old. He does the math in his head. Jennifer left 12 years ago. Emma is 7. 7 years old. "What's your birthday, Emma?" "October 19th. I'll be 8 in 2 months. Ghost's birthday is January 8th. Jennifer left him on January 6th. 9 months later, Emma was born. "Emma?" Ghost says carefully, his voice rough with emotion. "Did your mommy ever talk about your daddy?" Emma shakes her head. "She just said he was a good man, but he had a different life. She said maybe one day I could meet him, but she wasn't sure if he'd want me." Want her? Jennifer thought he wouldn't want his own daughter. Ghost feels rage and grief and loss all crashing together. He could have been there. He could have helped raise this beautiful little girl. But Jennifer never told him. She disappeared and took his daughter with her. "Emma, I think I knew your mommy a long time ago." Emma's eyes go wide. "Really? Really? And I think—" Ghost stops. "How do you tell a 7-year-old that you might be her father? How do you explain that her mother kept this secret?" "Emma, I need to talk to Ms. Rodriguez. Will you let me do that?" Emma nods. "Are you going to help me?" Ghost looks at this little girl, his daughter, standing alone at her mother's grave, asking strangers to save her. Something fierce and protective rises up in his chest, something he's never felt before. "Yes," Ghost says. "I'm going to help you, I promise." Emma throws her arms around Ghost's neck. She's crying again, but this time, it's different. This time there's hope. Ghost holds his daughter for the first time in her life. He holds her tight and makes a silent vow to Jennifer's grave. He will not fail Emma. He will not let her go into the system. He will not abandon his child the way his own father abandoned him. Ms. Rodriguez arrives 40 minutes later in a dented Honda Civic. She's a tired-looking woman in her 50s, with kind eyes and stress lines around her mouth. She sees Emma with Ghost and immediately tenses. "Emma, honey, come here, please," Ms. Rodriguez calls. Emma doesn't move from Ghost's side. "He knew my mommy." Ms. Rodriguez approaches carefully. She eyes Ghost's vest, his size, his appearance. Ghost knows what she sees. A scary biker who might be dangerous. "Sir, I'm going to need you to step away from the child." Ghost stands slowly. He keeps his hands visible, non-threatening. "My name is Marcus Griffin. I knew Jennifer Walsh 12 years ago. I believe Emma might be my daughter." Ms. Rodriguez's expression shifts from worried to skeptical. "Jennifer never mentioned a father. If she'd wanted you involved, she would have said something." "Maybe she didn't know how to find me. Maybe she thought I wouldn't want to be found." Ghost pulls out his wallet. I can take a DNA test. I can prove it. Even if that's true, you're not on the birth certificate. You have no legal rights. Emma is a ward of the state now. Then make me legal. Give me the paperwork. I'll do whatever it takes. Ghost's voice is firm, but not aggressive. I'm not letting my daughter go into foster care when she has family. If you believe bikers are the good people, hit that like and subscribe button. Ms. Rodriguez looks at Emma, then at Ghost. She sighs. Mr. Griffin, do you have any idea what you're asking? You'd need to pass a background check, home inspection, parenting classes, and even then it's not guaranteed. The system doesn't just hand children to bikers with no parenting experience. I'll do all of it, whatever you need. Where do you live? At the Iron Brotherhood Clubhouse right now, but I'll get a house, an apartment, whatever's required. Do you have steady income? I own an auto repair shop, Griffin's Garage on Fletcher Street. I've owned it for 8 years. It's profitable. Ms. Rodriguez softens slightly. You're serious about this? She's my daughter. Of course I'm serious. Emma tugs on Ms. Rodriguez's sleeve. Please let him be my daddy. Please. Ms. Rodriguez looks torn. She's seen too many kids get disappointed by adults who promise everything and deliver nothing. But she's also seen the alternative. Foster care can be good, but it can also be hell. I'll make you a deal, Ms. Rodriguez says finally. You get the DNA test done. If it comes back positive, I'll start the paperwork. But Emma stays with me until everything's approved. And if you miss one appointment, one home visit, one requirement, she goes into the system. Understood? Understood. Good. The DNA test can be done at County Medical tomorrow morning. Be there at 8 a.m. sharp. Ghost nods. He looks down at Emma. I'll see you soon, okay? Emma hugs him again. Promise you'll come back? I promise. Ghost watches them drive away. Then he walks back to where his brothers finished Diesel's service. They're standing around, smoking, waiting. Everything okay? Cruz asks. I just met my daughter, Ghost says. The words hang in the air. The brothers stare at him. Your what? Tank, the sergeant-at-arms, says. My daughter. I didn't know she existed until 20 minutes ago. Her mother died. She's 7 years old and she's going into foster care if I don't step up. Cruz lets out a low whistle. Well, damn, brother, what do you need? An apartment, a lawyer, and someone to teach me how to braid hair. The brothers don't laugh. They don't question. They just nod. We'll figure it out, Cruz says. That's what brothers do. The DNA test takes 3 days to come back. 3 days of Ghost lying awake at night thinking about Jennifer, about Emma, about all the years he missed. 3 days of cleaning up his life, looking at apartments, talking to lawyers. When Ms. Rodriguez calls with the results, Ghost is in the middle of installing new brake pads on a customer's truck. Mr. Griffin, the results are positive. You're Emma's biological father. Ghost closes his eyes. He knew it. He felt it. But hearing it confirmed makes it real. What happens now? Now we start the process. But Mr. Griffin, I need to be honest with you. This isn't going to be easy. The court is going to look at every aspect of your life, your criminal record if you have one, your lifestyle, your associates. I've got 2 misdemeanor charges from when I was 19, bar fights, nothing since then. That's good, but they're also going to look at the Iron Brotherhood. Motorcycle clubs have a reputation. We're not a gang, we're a club. We do charity runs, we volunteer. We're good people. I believe you, but you'll need to prove it to the judge. Ghost spends the next 2 weeks proving it. He rents a 2-bedroom apartment in a good neighborhood. He enrolls in parenting classes. He submits to background checks and home inspections. The Iron Brotherhood brothers vouch for him. They bring records of every charity event they've ever done, every toy drive, every fundraiser, every veteran they've helped. Ghost goes through the process because Emma is worth it, because he made her a promise at her mother's grave, because he's not going to be the father who abandons his kid. Ms. Rodriguez brings Emma to visit the apartment on a Tuesday afternoon. Emma walks through the rooms with wide eyes. Ghost painted one bedroom pink. He bought stuffed animals and books. He tried to make it look like a place a little girl would want to live. "You did all this for me?" Emma asks. "Of course I did." Emma runs to him and hugs him tight. "I want to stay here, with you. Soon," Ghost promises. "Just a little longer." But that's when things take a turn. The next day, Ms. Rodriguez calls Ghost to her office. Her expression is grim. "We have a problem," she says. Ghost's stomach drops. "What kind of problem?" "A man came forward claiming to be Emma's father. He says Jennifer contacted him years ago. He has text messages, emails, photos. He's demanding custody." Ghost feels cold rage building. "Who is this man?" "His name is Richard Holbrook. He's a real estate developer, married, 2 kids of his own. He says Jennifer reached out to him when Emma was 3, asking for help. He says he was planning to acknowledge paternity, but Jennifer cut off contact." "That's bullshit." "Maybe. But he has lawyers, good ones, and he's filing for custody immediately." Ghost stands up. "Set up a meeting. I want to talk to this guy." The meeting happens 2 days later at a law office downtown. Richard Holbrook is everything Ghost expected. Mid-40s, expensive suit, perfect teeth. The kind of man who thinks money solves everything. "Mr. Griffin," Richard says with a condescending smile, "I understand you're attached to Emma. But let's be realistic. I can provide her with a stable home, private schools, a real family. You're a biker living in an apartment above a garage. What can you possibly offer her?" Ghost keeps his voice level. "Love, protection, someone who actually wants her instead of someone trying to look good." Richard laughs. "Oh, please. You didn't even know she existed until 2 weeks ago." "Neither did you, apparently." "I've known for years. Jennifer was ashamed to have me in Emma's life because of my marriage. But now that Jennifer's gone, Emma deserves better than what you can give her." Ghost leans forward. "Why now? Why show up after Jennifer dies? Where were you when Emma needed clothes, when she needed food, when her mother was dying of cancer?" Richard's smile falters. "That's none of your concern. It is when you're trying to take my daughter." "Your daughter?" Richard stands up. "You have a DNA test. I have 4 years of communication with Jennifer. The court will see through your little act, Mr. Griffin. Emma will be mine." Ghost watches Richard leave. Something feels wrong. Something beyond the obvious wrongness of a man appearing out of nowhere to claim a child. That night, Ghost calls Cruz. "I need you to dig into Richard Holbrook, real estate developer, married, find out everything about him." Cruz doesn't ask questions. "I'll make some calls." 24 hours later, Cruz shows up at Ghost's apartment with a folder full of information. "You're not going to like this," Cruz says. Ghost opens the folder. Inside are newspaper clippings, court records, and police reports. Richard Holbrook has been investigated 3 times for fraud. His business has multiple lawsuits against it. His marriage is falling apart. And 2 years ago, his oldest daughter filed a restraining order against him. "There's more," Cruz says quietly. "I talked to a cop friend of mine. Richard Holbrook is drowning in debt. His company is about to go under. But Jennifer Walsh had a life insurance policy, $500,000. And if he can prove paternity and get custody of Emma, he becomes the trustee of that money until she turns 18. Ghost's blood turns to ice. He doesn't want Emma. He wants the money. Looks like it. Ghost stares at the documents. Richard Holbrook is a predator, a con man using a dead woman's child to save himself from bankruptcy. "We need to prove this," Ghost says. "How?" "Jennifer's text messages, her emails. If Richard really communicated with her, there should be records. And if those records show he was asking about money, we've got him." Cruz nods. "I'll see what I can find." The next 3 days are a blur. The Iron Brotherhood mobilizes. Tank knows a private investigator who specializes in digital forensics. Snake knows someone at Jennifer's phone company. Diesel's widow knows someone at the bank where Jennifer kept her accounts. They dig into every corner of Jennifer Walsh's life, and what they find turns Ghost's stomach. Richard Holbrook did contact Jennifer, but not when Emma was 3. He contacted her 2 months before she died. The emails are cold and calculating. He offered to acknowledge paternity if Jennifer signed over control of her life insurance policy. Jennifer refused. She told him she'd rather Emma have nothing than have it stolen by a con man. The last email Jennifer sent to Richard is dated 3 weeks before she died. "Stay away from my daughter. She deserves better than you. She deserves someone who will love her, not use her. If you come near Emma after I'm gone, I'll make sure the truth comes out." Ghost reads that line over and over. Jennifer was trying to protect Emma even from her deathbed. She knew Richard would come for the money. She just didn't know Ghost would be there to stop him. The court hearing happens on a Thursday morning. Ghost arrives with his brothers, his lawyer, and the evidence. Richard Holbrook arrives with his lawyers and a fake smile. The judge is a stern-looking woman in her 60s named Judge Patterson. She reviews both cases carefully. "Mr. Holbrook, you claim you've been in contact with Jennifer Walsh for years regarding Emma. Is that correct?" "Yes, Your Honor. I have documentation." "Mr. Griffin, you claim Mr. Holbrook is only seeking custody for financial gain. Is that correct?" "Yes, Your Honor, and I have proof." Ghost's lawyer presents the emails, the banking records, the evidence of Richard's financial troubles, the restraining order from Richard's own daughter. Judge Patterson's expression hardens as she reads. She looks at Richard Holbrook with barely concealed disgust. "Mr. Holbrook, these emails show you only contacted Jennifer Walsh after her cancer diagnosis. They show you pressuring her to sign over, financial control of her life insurance policy. They show her repeatedly refusing and warning you to stay away from Emma." Richard's lawyers whisper frantically to him. He's sweating now. "Your Honor, those emails are taken out of context." "I don't believe they are. I believe you saw an opportunity to exploit a dying woman's child for your own financial benefit, and I will not allow it." Judge Patterson turns to Ghost. "Mr. Griffin, you've completed all required parenting classes. Your home has passed inspection, your background check is clean, multiple character witnesses have vouched for you, and most importantly, the DNA test confirms you are Emma's biological father." Ghost holds his breath. "I'm granting you temporary custody of Emma Walsh, effective immediately. We'll schedule a follow-up hearing in 6 months to review the arrangement. But Mr. Griffin, understand this. If you fail that child in any way, I will not hesitate to remove her from your care. Do I make myself clear?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Crystal clear." Judge Patterson looks at Richard. "And Mr. Holbrook, if you come near Emma again, I will hold you in contempt. Get out of my courtroom." Richard's face turns red, but he doesn't argue. He storms out with his lawyers. Ghost sits back in his chair. He did it. Emma is his. Ms. Rodriguez brings Emma to Ghost's apartment that afternoon. Emma is carrying a small backpack with all her belongings. Everything she owns fits in one bag. It breaks Ghost's heart. The Iron Brotherhood is waiting at the apartment. 12 bikers standing in the hallway, trying to look casual. Tank has balloons. Cruz has a teddy bear bigger than Emma. Snake's wife Maria has homemade cookies. They all want to welcome Emma home. Emma stops in the doorway when she sees them all. Her eyes go wide. For a second, Ghost worries it's too much, too overwhelming. Then Emma smiles. The biggest smile Ghost has ever seen. "Are these all my uncles?" Emma asks. "Every single one," Ghost says. "And they're all going to spoil you rotten." Tank steps forward first. He's 6'6", 300 pounds of pure muscle. He looks terrifying until he kneels down and offers Emma the balloons. "Welcome home, little darlin'. Your daddy told us all about you. We're real glad you're here." Emma takes the balloons. "Thank you, Uncle Tank." One by one, the brothers introduce themselves. Each one makes a promise. Cruz promises to teach her how to read maps. Snake promises to bring her to family dinners every Sunday. Hammer promises to protect her from bullies. Jokey promises to make her laugh when she's sad. They're building a safety net around this little girl, making sure she never feels alone again. After everyone leaves, it's just Ghost and Emma in the apartment. Emma walks through the rooms slowly, touching everything. The pink walls, the stuffed animals, the bookshelf Ghost built himself. "You ready?" Ghost asks. Emma nods. She's trying to be brave, but Ghost can see the fear in her eyes. She's been moved around so much. She's scared this won't last either. "Emma, I need you to know something," Ghost says, kneeling down. "I'm not going anywhere. I'm your dad. And dads don't leave. Not ever. Okay?" Emma's lip trembles. "What if you change your mind? What if I'm too much trouble?" Ghost's heart shatters. How many times has this little girl been told she's too much? How many times has she been made to feel like a burden? "Emma, look at me." Ghost waits until she meets his eyes. "You are not trouble. You are not a burden. You are my daughter, and having you here is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Do you understand? But what if I mess up? What if I'm bad? Then we'll figure it out together. That's what families do. We make mistakes and we fix them and we love each other anyway." Ghost pulls Emma close. "You can't get rid of me, kiddo. I'm stuck to you like glue." Emma giggles through her tears. "Like glue?" "Like super glue. Industrial strength. The kind they use to hold bridges together." Emma laughs harder. Then she's crying. Then she's hugging Ghost so tight he can barely breathe. "I love you, Daddy." Ghost feels tears burning in his eyes. It's the first time Emma has called him that. "I love you too, sweetheart." They stay like that for a long time. Father and daughter, holding each other, building trust, starting over. That first night is hard. Emma has nightmares. She wakes up crying for her mother at 2 a.m. Ghost sits with her, holding her hand, letting her cry. He doesn't tell her everything will be okay. He doesn't make promises he can't keep. He just stays. "I miss her so much," Emma sobs. "I know, baby. I know." Does it ever stop hurting? Ghost thinks about all the people he's lost. His mother, his brothers who died on bikes or in war, Diesel just last month. It doesn't stop hurting, but it hurts less. And one day, you'll remember all the good times with your mommy, and it'll make you smile instead of cry. Promise? Promise. Emma falls asleep holding Ghost's hand. He stays in the chair beside her bed all night, watching her sleep, making sure she knows she's safe. The next morning, Emma wakes up, and Ghost is still there. That matters more than any words could. The first week is an adjustment. Emma is used to being quiet, to not taking up space, to being invisible. Ghost has to teach her it's okay to be loud. It's okay to ask for things. It's okay to exist. He teaches her that family dinners are mandatory, that she gets to pick the movie on Friday nights, that her opinion matters, that she's allowed to say no. Slowly, Emma starts to unfold. She starts to laugh more. She starts to talk about her mother without crying every time. She starts to believe Ghost when he says he's not leaving. 6 months pass. 6 months of learning to be a father. 6 months of bedtime stories and scraped knees and homework help. 6 months of Emma slowly healing from her mother's death. The Iron Brotherhood embraces Emma completely. Tank teaches her how to change a tire. Cruz brings her books. Snake's wife, Maria, teaches her how to braid her own hair since Ghost is hopeless at it. The whole club becomes Emma's family. Emma starts calling the clubhouse her second home. She has aunts and uncles everywhere she looks, people who would die to protect her, people who love her just because she's Ghost's kid. The follow-up hearing goes smoothly. Judge Patterson sees the school reports showing Emma thriving. She sees the bonds Emma has formed. She sees a child who is loved and safe and happy. "Mr. Griffin, I'm granting you permanent custody. Emma is legally yours." Ghost feels relief wash over him. It's done. Emma is his daughter, not just biologically, legally, permanently. That weekend, Ghost takes Emma to Jennifer's grave. It's been 7 months since they met there. 7 months since Ghost's life changed forever. Emma places flowers on the headstone. "Hi, Mommy. I brought Daddy with me." Ghost kneels beside Emma. "I'm sorry I wasn't there, Jenny. I'm sorry you went through everything alone. But I've got Emma now, and I swear on my life, I'll take care of her. I'll give her everything you would have wanted for her. She'll never be alone again." Emma leans against Ghost. "Mommy would like you, Daddy." Ghost wraps his arm around his daughter. "I hope so, baby. I really hope so." They sit there together as the sun sets. A biker and his daughter. A family forged from grief and chance and love. 2 years later, Emma is 9 years old. She's confident, happy, thriving. She plays soccer and gets straight A's. She still visits her mother's grave every month, but now it's with peace instead of pain. The Iron Brotherhood is planning their annual toy drive. Emma helps organize it. She's become the club's unofficial mascot. The brothers would burn the world down to keep her safe. Ghost stands in his garage, watching Emma help Tank sort donated toys. She's wearing a miniature version of the Iron Brotherhood vest. The back says "Property of Ghost," and she wears it with pride. Cruz walks up beside Ghost. "You did good, brother." Ghost nods. "She saved me as much as I saved her." That's what kids do. They give you purpose. Ghost thinks about that day in the cemetery. The little girl standing alone, asking a stranger to be her father. The photograph that changed everything. The mother who loved Emma enough to let Ghost find her, even from beyond the grave. "I think Jennifer knew," Ghost says quietly. "Knew what?" "That Emma would find me. That I'd be at that cemetery that day. That I'd recognize her photo. I think Jennifer planned it. Even dying, she was still protecting Emma. Still making sure her daughter had someone." Cruz considers this. "You think she was watching?" "I think she was guiding, and she picked the right man." Ghost looks at Emma. His daughter, his second chance, his family. "Yeah," Ghost says. "She picked right." Emma looks up and waves at Ghost. "Daddy, come help! Tank can't reach the top shelf." Tank laughs. "Hey, I resent that." Ghost walks over to help. He lifts Emma onto his shoulders so she can reach the high shelf. She giggles and grabs the toy. "I got it." "Good job, sweetheart." Emma looks down at Ghost from her perch on his shoulders. "Daddy, can I tell you something?" "Anything?" "I'm really glad you came to the cemetery that day." Ghost's throat tightens. "Me too, baby, me too. And I'm glad you're my daddy. I'm glad you're my daughter." Emma hugs his head tight. "Mommy would be happy. I know she would." Ghost believes her. Somewhere Jennifer Walsh is watching. And she's smiling. Because her daughter is safe. Her daughter is loved. Her daughter has a father who would move heaven and earth to protect her. That's all any mother could ask for. That's everything. The Iron Brotherhood's annual toy drive happens the following Saturday. They deliver presents to 300 kids across the city. Foster kids, homeless kids, sick kids in hospitals. Emma helps hand out every single toy. She tells each child the same thing Ghost told her 2 years ago. You're not alone. You're loved. And things are going to get better. Some of those kids believe her, some don't. But Emma plants seeds of hope anyway, because she knows what it's like to stand at a grave with no one. She knows what it's like to ask a stranger for help. She knows what it's like to be saved. And she knows she wants to save other kids too. That night, Ghost tucks Emma into bed. She's exhausted from the toy drive, but happy. She hugs the teddy bear. Ghost won her at the fair last summer. Daddy, can I ask you something? Sure. Do you think there are other kids like me? Kids who need help? Ghost sits on the edge of her bed. Yeah, sweetheart. There are a lot of kids who need help. Can we help them? Like Uncle Tank and Uncle Cruz and everyone helped me? Ghost feels pride swell in his chest. Absolutely. What did you have in mind? Maybe we could start a program for kids who lost their parents, to make sure they don't have to be alone, to make sure they have family. Ghost looks at his 9-year-old daughter. This incredible little girl who has been through hell and come out wanting to help others. That's a beautiful idea, Emma. Let's do it. Emma sits up in bed, excited now. We could match kids with families, like how you matched with me, and the Iron Brotherhood could help find good people, people who really want to be parents. Like a mentorship program, Ghost says. Yeah, and we could have events where kids meet potential families, like the toy drive but for matching people. Emma's words come faster now. And Uncle Tank could teach them about motorcycles, and Uncle Cruz could teach them about books, and Maria could teach them how to cook, and… Ghost laughs. Slow down, sweetheart. We'll figure it all out. But yes, those are all great ideas. Emma smiles. I want to call it Jennifer's Angels, after Mommy. Ghost's eyes burn. Your mom would love that. I know, because she was an angel, and now we can be angels for other kids. Emma's expression turns serious. Daddy, do you think Mommy knew that I'd find you? Ghost thinks about that day at the cemetery, about the timing, about the photograph Emma carried. Yeah, baby, I think she knew. She was watching over me. She still is, every single day. Emma lies back down, satisfied. Then we have to do this. We have to help other kids like Mommy helped me find you. Ghost kisses Emma's forehead. Get some sleep, sweetheart. We'll start planning tomorrow. Okay? Love you, Daddy. Love you too. Ghost turns off the light and closes the door. He walks to the living room where Cruz is waiting. You heard? Ghost asks. Cruz nods. Jennifer's Angels. The kid's got a good heart. She gets it from her mother. And her father. Cruz leans back in his chair. You know the brothers are going to be all over this. Tank's already talking about doing background checks on potential families. Snake wants to set up a fundraiser. Good. We'll need all the help we can get. This is going to change a lot of lives, brother. Ghost looks toward Emma's room. It already has. Ghost looks at the photograph on his mantle. Jennifer Walsh smiling in front of a Christmas tree. The photo Emma carried to the cemetery 2 years ago. The photo that saved them both. Thank you, Jenny, Ghost whispers, for trusting me with her, for knowing I'd step up, for giving me the greatest gift I could ever receive. The photograph doesn't answer, but Ghost swears he can feel Jennifer's presence, her approval, her peace, because Emma is exactly where she's supposed to be, with a father who loves her, with a family that protects her, with a purpose that honors her mother's memory. That's the thing about bikers. People see the leather, the bikes, the tough exterior. They don't see the hearts underneath. They don't see the fathers, the brothers, the protectors. They don't see the men who stop at cemeteries to bury their friends and end up saving little girls instead. Ghost is one of those men. A biker with tattoos and scars and a past full of mistakes. But he's also a father, Emma's father, and that's the only title that matters. He walked into that cemetery to honor a fallen brother. He walked out with a daughter. That's the way life works sometimes. You go to say goodbye to one person and end up saying hello to someone else. You think you're at the end of something and it turns out you're at the beginning. Ghost started a motorcycle club to have brotherhood, but Emma gave him something more. She gave him family, she gave him purpose, she gave him a reason to be better than he was, and in return, he gave her everything. Safety, love, a home, a future. That's what fathers do. That's what bikers do. They protect what's theirs. They fight for what matters. They show up when others walk away. Jennifer Walsh knew that. She must have. That's why she never wrote Ghost's name on the birth certificate. That's why she never tried to find him while she was alive. She was waiting. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for Emma to need him. Waiting for Ghost to be ready. And when that moment came, Jennifer made sure Emma had the photograph. Made sure Emma went to that cemetery. Made sure Emma was standing by that grave when the Iron Brotherhood rolled in. Jennifer orchestrated the whole thing from beyond the grave. She saved her daughter one last time by making sure Ghost would find her. That's a mother's love. That's sacrifice. That's knowing when to hold on and when to let go. Ghost understands that now. He understands all of it. He walks to Emma's room and opens the door quietly. She's asleep, clutching her teddy bear. Her nightlight casts soft shadows on the walls. She looks peaceful, safe, loved. Ghost watches his daughter sleep. This miracle, this gift, this second chance. "I won't let you down," he whispers. "I promise." And Ghost keeps that promise every single day for the rest of his life, because that's what dads do. Like and subscribe for more stories.